Okay, let's start today's call. So the first agenda item is to look at current spring, because today is the last day. We haven't really closed any tickets yet for this spring. There are a bunch of tickets in the code review column, and we need to look at those. So we're not going to talk about those today. There are 3 tickets in the pre-testing columns. Maybe we should just look at those just to make sure that whether there's any blocker or things like that to prevent that to move forward. Okay. So let's just look at here. So there are 2 tickets, I think the CDM forms. So Simon and Lawrence, can you just give us an update? What are the remaining items for us to move to co-reviewed status for these 2 tickets? Is the dispensary form and also the health center form?
Yeah, Lawrence has been testing this, I think, with the users. So as you can see the comments, he wanted me to meet Dr. Wambui, I think, so that I can get explanation for certain things they feel like I should fix. Quite a number of them, I think, is to do the reminders, which I've requested for information so that I can run through to make sure all reminders are okay. This morning, Lawrence told me there are some users, I think, who want me to meet with so that they can tell me some of those issues. So, Lawrence, I think it's better if you give us an update on that. You see the way forward.
I was able to get Wambui to test the CDM memo, and she went through the form. So the feedback was as I updated the ticket, but she had a feeling like there's a big chunk of the logic not actually active as expected. And I thought since Simon has not really did not work on the logic bit of the form, it would be nice if they can have a one-on-one with Wambui so that he can get full feedback on the logic bit of the form.
Okay.
Yeah. May I ask for the logic documented, and also for us to know what's different from what you provided us before?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I actually proposed to Simon, that we have we have the old form and maybe the current one that's been worked on, so that we can easily pick out what's exactly missing. So when I talked to them, they kept insisting that we need there's much change from the older version of the form.
Lawrence, just to clarify more for my understanding, was what was implemented logic in the current version of the form what you guys had provided us?
Yes, it was, but I think from Wambui's testing, she claims that there is a difference, but Simon says he actually used the old form.
Yeah, actually, the reminders they're talking about were not provided. What told me is that there's no change actually from the old reminders in the old form and the current form. So since the reminders only they're talking about only affected the sections of the form that I have kept intact, I did not program those ones. So it looks like there's some reminders I need to change or to work on, and as per what I need right now is the logic actually on how those reminders should work, so that I can go through the form and see whether it works that way or I need to change something.
Okay, great. Lawrence, it would make sense for everyone to see a documented version of the logic. Could you work with the doctor to kind of get those done? I don't think, I still think, it's okay to meet with Simon, but we need to see the documented logic in itself. Can you guys provide that to us?
Yes.
Okay. And then what was the comment about going to the field?
No, I didn't mention anything on the ticket.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't
Sorry,
mention
I thought I had something about Simon going to the field so that you can get feedback.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a meeting here.
Okay.
Thank you. So the next one is the barcode scanner features. I think it's been tested and working well with the snapshot that Sridhar provided. So I think it's just a way for Win to move to the code review session. I think Sridhar need to submit the pull request so that Win can review. I think so. Thanks, Sridhar. So can you just provide the pull request for this one?
I have already done that, Ida. I think.
Okay.
Let me just 1 second. I'm just looking for it.
Okay.
I think Win merged it. If I'm not sure. Let me just check.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, I will just update the ticket with that.
Okay, thanks. So that one is fine. So there are a couple tickets are on hold. The first one is 290. This is like update the demographic form. I think this was already discussed on last Friday call. I think it's ready to work. Is it correct, Simon?
Yeah, that's correct. I will be working on that next.
Okay, so let me just move it there. And then the next one is the teleconsultation testing. Eric, can you just give us a brief update and then what information that you need? Oh, Eric is not on. Sorry, I forgot. So maybe we can discuss that later.
Ida, sorry to disturb you, but it looks like this has already been merged.
It's already been merged?
Yeah.
So let me just put the ticket update here.
So it just needs to a final round of testing and then it can be closed, I think. But I'm not sure how we're going to test it because of that form reload issue.
No, it still works for. I think we can still test it with the scanning part because I tested it with the registration form. Once I scanned it, it does capture the value on the AMRS ID field. I think that's what we need to test on. So in terms of the issue about not able to save as a complete form data, I think is another issue. There's another ticket for that.
Yeah, no, but when I was testing, the issue that you found that I'm not able to, I think you noted a few days back that you're not seeing the AMRS ID being populated into the field, right?
Yeah.
So that will still happen because I think, I'm not sure what the issue is, but the forms are reloading, and I don't know if that's been fixed because I was gone on Friday, so I'm just wondering, did someone take the time to fix that, or is that still an issue?
No, the form reloading is still an issue, I think, unless Simon fixed that.
So if that issue is still existing, I'm not sure we'll be able to test this out because what will happen is once you open up the form and you hit the icon for the barcode scanner.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the barcode scanner will open up and it will be able to scan the barcode, it will return the value, and it actually puts it into the field. But when the form gets reloaded, it wipes out all the values again. So that's the reason you are not seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a different tickets for that. Let me see what that is. This one.
Yeah. So I think it's something like until that is fixed, we will not be able to test this one.
So let me. So the form reload issue is pretty much applied to some field the fields.
Yeah, any of the any of the, it basically pre-populates all the data that needs to be there, and then whatever is, so whatever happens after the form gets loaded and between the reload, everything gets lost. So but I'm not sure what caused this to happen suddenly, but we have to look into it.
You know, I
So
think the funny thing that the reload, I don't think the reload happened to the MRS ID. I don't know why. Or let me see here. I cannot remember exactly, but I don't think it applied to the MRS ID field. I don't know why, but it applied to other values.
oh,
Yeah, so that is
okay.
really strange.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
it
maybe
applies.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, it applies to any values that are inputted onto the form. So whatever that has not been saved already will be cleared every time the form is reloaded.
Yeah.
So why not we, since we're going to include 312 for the sprint, for the next sprint, so I think that would work well. Because I think the next sprint, I think we're going to include all those bugs that we found. It's more like a bug fixes stuff related to the registration form. So I was Simon and I talk about spent some time last Thursday to go through all the issues related to the registration form, so that we'll include all those for this week's sprint, so that kind of like dependent. It has some kind of dependency, so it just makes sense for us to have all those related tickets to be worked on at the same time.
Yeah, sure. It makes sense, Ada.
I hope that would be less complicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. So the other tickets they haven't really started yet, and so I'm not going to talk about those since we already did the tickets grooming at the beginning of the sprint, and so I'm not going to talk about those now. So hold on a second, let me see what's the next item. I think it's now it's good time because today is the last day of the sprint, and please update all those tickets today, and as usual we need to do a retrospective review to see what we have done right and what area we can do better. So anyone?
Yeah, hi Ida. I just wanted to bring up, I think a few weeks back when Kiran and Manisha were on the team, we basically took some time to come up with a continuous integration plan for mUzima. And the more I see, issues like this is working and it's broken now, and we're only catching issues when we're testing. And sometimes maybe we're not catching all the issues that could have been caught, because our testing is largely based on manual testing. Like if someone, either Simon or some of the developers or someone from the test team sees a problem and then they file a ticket. So I mean, and this is only if it's really obvious, like the wizard crash or something like that. So I was just wondering if you guys have thought about the CI and things like that.
Yes, I think that now, I think last conversation, I think it got left off because um, I think Kieran last time was Kieran and you did a presentation, and then Kieran sent out the documentations.
Yeah.
It was kind of not moving forward because the contract thing not really have the continuous discussions, and then I'm all for like the CI thing, because I think that was the best way for us to move forward instead of like having all these like conflicts found out manually.
Right.
Yeah.
Shweta, thanks for bringing that up. I actually agree with Eda. Let me ask, given that Kiran is on to another team, do you think you can help move it forward if we prioritized it?
Yes, I think I can. I mean, have. I would like to do it, and I would definitely have help around here so I can set it up. I think I will be able to do it if we prioritize it, because I feel like a lot of the bugs could really be is, like caught much ahead of actually so late in the cycle, where people are testing it and they're finding issues in the form. So since it's just Simon and me and Win right now who are actively working on the code, it's going to be easier than in the future. Like maybe if we have more developers, and you already have a CI system that's set up, it's going to make mUzima much stronger and much stable. Mainly because every time we make some changes, there's a bunch of tests that are going to run each time. So we don't have to wait until someone notices something is broken or something is an issue. And I will probably, if I were to do it, I would probably have to take someone's help, but I should be able to do it.
No, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Eda, go ahead.
No, I just think I think that would be great that we even like put things on hold and just to get this done, because I think this is really, really important and make things more efficient later on. So I think probably it would be good, like Rita, if you can help us and maybe kind of like get like a ballpark estimate how much effort it would need from you and others developers, Simon or Win, and then we can plan, when for the best time that to do that.
Sure. So I think the last when I spoke to Kiran, and we were saying if it's just one person who's going to be working on it, it's going to be 4 developer weeks, and if it's 2 people, it was going to be 2 developer weeks. That was what was.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good.
Because for mUzima we have 6 different repositories, and setting up CI for all of them, and also writing tests for the front end. Even if we don't have like our test suite right now is not as good as it could have been, but even with that, like if we just have like each time we check in code, we generate, we build automatically, so we don't have to really like wait for like every time there's something committed and there's a new APK generated instantaneously. So whoever is testing can easily pick off the APK which is the latest and the greatest, instead of waiting for pull requests to be merged and things like that.
That would be really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, and because and once we start focusing on writing tests, each time we commit some code, the tests get run automatically because of the way CI is set up. So when the tests run automatically, it basically, if you break anything or any functionality, you get notified immediately, so you can fix it instead of waiting for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And I think there are some cases where code was changed like 6 months back, and now we're seeing the effects of it. Like the recent Accra thing, right? There was a problem with that.
Yes.
So things like that we can catch like much earlier in the cycles. So that way the developer can fix it much earlier, and it doesn't have to be, and it's just easier for everyone else if the bugs are caught much easier in the release cycle than much later.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. Okay, so I think that's a great suggestion, Sweta. I think we definitely need to rearrange the resources and dedicate for developers weeks on this one.
Yeah, and I think Kiran did a really thorough job on estimating not only with the effort that it will take from a developer's end, but also on the how much it would cost us to actually have a CI system up and running. So there are several different options out there, and I think he's put together a good matrix, and I sent across a PPT as well as like a document which basically outlines all the tools that we have surveyed and researched, and which are the ones that we recommend for mUzima. And I can only tell you about the developer effort, but I think when it comes to finances, I really can't say much because you guys would be the best people to answer that question. So I will leave it up to you. So, and I mean, we've explained exactly why we chose this tool and what would be the cost implications of this tool over another one and things like that. So the main goal for us is, even if we do set up CI, it should be something that will really help mUzima in the long run. It shouldn't, a lot of times I feel like even if CI has been set up for a team or for a product or for an application, if it's so difficult for someone to maintain it and it's never going to be used, then all of that effort and the money that went into actually setting it up is lost. So the plan is to make something really simple and just like baby steps, where we just build every time we commit a code change. That's like the most basic thing. And after that, we generate APKs more frequently and test more frequently and write more robust test suites so that tests are run each time everything is changed in the app. And with these small steps, I think the product itself is going to be much, much, much stable. And but at the same time, we don't want to make it so complicated that it's going to be difficult to maintain. And once it gets really difficult to maintain, people will be not very keen on using it or even keeping it up to date and running. So having a very simple infrastructure, something to start off, would just be like all the 6 core repositories. We just set up CI for it, and then we take it from there.
Yes. Agreed.
Shweta, could I ask which tool were you going to use again? Was it Jenkins, or is that what you settled on?
Yes, it was Jenkins. It was not Jenkins. It was, one second. Let me just bring it up. I think I share. I'm just going to bring up the document again. Jenkins is one of the options, but I think we didn't go with Jenkins in the end. We went with something else, something that was open source and.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at your email from the 21st of July.
Yeah.
With which had the PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's the latest one. Yes.
Yeah. And so the last page you say.
Yeah, I think it is Jenkins. Oh, we would really like the model. Yes, it's Jenkins, and then we did a couple of a test server for OpenMRS and 2 agents for Jenkins and 3 functional test runners. Yeah, Jenkins is the one that we went with. But we also evaluated at that point. I think we did CodeShip, Bamboo, and Travis, which are similar tools, but they're slightly different in their pricing and what they offer.
Yes, excellent. Okay, thanks. So we'll discuss and get in touch.
Sure.
And yeah, and where did you put the email about how much it would take to get it all set up?
Oh, it's in the doc. Okay, one second. I think there's a document. I'll send it again. There was a doc. It costs about $70 a month on DigitalOcean. I think the reason we chose DigitalOcean is because Win recommended DigitalOcean. So.
Okay. Great. Okay, we'll get back in touch.
Sure.
Over the next day.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rita. That's a great suggestion. So anyone else have want to share the retrospective review, what we have done right, or what we could have improved on from current sprint?
Yeah, and, I think mine is in form of a question. There are some tickets which are not filed under mUzima, like uh, those relating to the lack costing form. I just wonder why. I mean, could we include them in the sprint, or should we continue filing them under lack?
So, yeah, that's a good question. So for project-specific tickets, I think they should continue to file under the project. So every time when I ask people to send me the tickets that they need, they would like to include in the upcoming sprints, people did not send it to me. So that's why I did not include those in the sprint. So that's the major reason why, for example, the tickets for the lag costing form is not in our current sprint.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the reason. So I send email and ask folks like, let me know what ticket you would like to be included, and also like if anything, especially anything critical, I would need to know so that we can arrange our resources that to include those if possible. However, folks don't send those to me, and it would be very difficult for me to evaluate program-specific needs. Does that make sense? So that's impossible for me to know which one I should include and not why not and what not. But for those which file under mUzima, it's easy for me because I check every single one of them.
Oh yeah. So I think that's one of the feedback. An area we need to improve on. Yeah, guys who are responsible with the different teams, I think we need to identify the tickets that they need priority, kind of, and let you know.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good one, Simon. Anything else from anyone in terms of retrospective review? If not, I think it's time to do tickets grooming. Okay. This is tickets I filed. Is a bug in the registration form. After entering other identifier and saving it as incomplete or complete, the data would enter would be gone after opening the incomplete form. I think this is really related to the form reloading tickets that Simon filed. And I think, thank you so much, Ruth and Robai. They both try to reproduce they both try and also can reproduce the error. So that's pretty much what this ticket is about. So I want to do the story points and how many points that you guys think these tickets need. I think this would be Sweta, Simon, and Achana. So Simon thinks it's a 3. Sweta, Achana. Okay, cool. 3. So that's what we have right now. So that's great. The last one is like form reload on screen timeout. Simon filed this ticket for us. When filling the forms the open form gets reloaded on resuming the device after a screen timeout. This leads to loss of any unsafe value. So how many story points that you guys think this ticket needs? One, two, three, go. Simon think it's a 3. Srita and the channel. Okay, that's great. It's also a 3. Next one is remove timeout value during the initial setup. Is filed by Robai. When the initial mUzima setup wizard takes more than 5 minutes to download or the data to the local repo, the application is interrupted and user got logged out from the application and forcing the user to restart the whole process again. So what Robai is suggesting is to remove the timeout, the defaulted 5 minutes during the before the initial wizard is complete. After that's complete, that default value can be replaced. This is really important, especially for the initial setup that either with slow internet speed or need to download quite a lot of data. So how many story points it needs? Let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay, Achana and Shrita think is 1 and Simon think is 3. So can you guys reconcile the story point? So Simon, why you think it's a 3?
Well, so I think I don't know exactly how this will be fixed, but in my mind, I understand you're saying we shall remove the timeout until when the wizard is done, and after that, the 5-minute timeout can be applied, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
So I don't know exactly how. I've not looked at the code, and I don't know exactly how long it would take, but I don't know what Switha and Chana thinks. If they really think it's 1, I think I'll go with them.
So Ada, just to clarify, for this one, it's just that you want to change the default value from 5 to something larger than 5. Is that correct?
No. So we want to remove the default value before the initial wizard is done. So the reason is that the timeout value is applied even during the initial wizard setup. As you know, especially downloading like a big cohort and their observations and encounter information, that step sometimes would take more than 5 minutes, especially
Right.
with slower internet connection. And then the app would get timeout, and then the user is forced to kind of log out and then restart the whole process again. It's quite frustrating for the
Right.
user.
So are you saying that, sorry.
Yeah,
Please go
so
ahead.
what we're proposing is the timeout should not be enforced in during the initial visit. It should start after the initial visit is complete.
Okay. So I would then I don't know, then we probably have to look at how to do it. So I would change mine to 3 actually.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Cool. So let's just leave it as a 3 then. The next one is the day of birth field on registration form filed by Lawrence. So currently the birth year is from -10 to +10 years from the current year. So every time the user for example, need to pick like a client with like an older client, let's say like 50 years old, it need to go back and forth and to pick the smallest birth year on the scale, and then return back to the screen, and then tap on the day picker again, and then it would return another next set of -10 value, and pick the smallest one. So even for like a user who, for a client who's like 50 years old, the user need to do it back and forth like 4 times in order to grab the correct birth year. It's quite annoying. So this ticket is asking that for 2 things. One is the birth year should not even display anything greater than current year, because it's impossible for someone to have a future birth year. Another thing is to have like a continuous growing bar, so that it doesn't need to go back and forth for a set of 10 less, from current birth year. That's what this ticket is about. So now is about the story point. So 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so it's a 3. So I think those are the new tickets that we plan to have, because it's more like bugs related. As I think the whole goal is we're not going to have tickets with new features until we have one very stable APK ready for Google Play. So just want to let everyone know that we're going to just to do the bug fixes until we have like one stable release before we talk about adding new features. Any questions or comments? Okay. If not, 303, 1 second. So maybe we should have a discussion on 303. So this one is add a link to corresponding registration form on View mUzima data page. So Swetha, I think that you last week you bring up a question in the daily Scrum and asked about what additional column that we need in terms of the table structure change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you have like a specific questions, or you want to bring it more like a discussion thing?
No, I think this ticket is kind of okay. This is for the changes on the forms page, right?
Yes, correct.
The error data and the queue data page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we broke up the ticket into smaller tickets. I think
Yes.
Win has done that. So I'm working on the first part, and that part is pretty clear to me. I haven't really like, but from okay, it looks like Win has. I think I'm okay for now, Ada.
Oh, you're
If
okay for that? Okay.
yeah.
Cool. I just want to make sure that you have the information that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all we have for today's agenda items. And so, further, is Eric with you? Florida? Oh yes, okay. So I think that's one ticket that we is Eric tickets on hold. Just want to check what if he can give us like a brief summary, and also what he needs to move forward with this ticket. Is the mUzima 299 teleconsultation testing? You guys are on mute in case you're talking further. Okay. So, is it possible for you to be more specific on the ticket so that Anisha would know what exactly the problem is? Cool. So those are the items on the agenda. So, Achana, I just wonder if you can just give us like a brief update on how things are with the fingerprint project. I know that you make a lot of good progress.
Hello, Ada. Yeah, it's going fine. Eric is testing the code that I have committed. So right now I'm actually working on reducing the size of APK. Later on we can actually integrate it with the mUzima so that when you try to click on the fingerprint, it leads you to the fingerprint app, and then the results and all are again redirected back to the mUzima app. So right now it's on the state reducing the size of the fingerprint APK.
Great. So now you move on to the mobile side.
Yes.
Great. And so Derek has sent his apology. He's away. He's not available for today's call. So maybe for implementation updates, Lawrence, do you want just to give us an update from in terms of CDM?
So far we are okay. We are planning on getting the screening form in use. While we are to procure the other devices, we opted to start off with the phones that the CHVs have, the Huawei phones. So that is being planned for first or second week of next month, when they can begin using the screening form for the positively screened patients. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering if the APK testing will have gone well for us, we could use the same avenue to update the APK, if at all that will have been done by then. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So last week we talked about not just about using the APK, but there's a lot of module and form compatibility as well. So I think that's what the intensive testing would require, especially after the end of the spring when we provide us all the latest through the spring folder. So that's what we need to be committed in testing intensively, especially for the program that you are assigned to or responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that conversation was helpful and clear that what each member is responsible for, so that would not be by the time it's your turn to use it, and then actually things will not test thoroughly for your program.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that is it for me on my list. Now we have 10 minutes left. Anything from anyone?
Nothing for me, Ada. Thank you.
Thanks, Rita. Simon?
Maybe just to mention, Eda, what we talked about last week about refreshing the test server. I just sent a mail before the call, giving feedback of what I thought about. So my thinking is that currently we have a mechanism of updating the concepts, which comes with forms and some other tables. But what we have not been doing so far is updating the forms, mUzima data, the cohorts, as per what we'd like it to look at, like on the test server. So just send a mail, giving my thoughts about it. I think we can look at it and then we share maybe through Scrum tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I just saw it now. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah, and then part of my findings, I wish Wayne was here, he could advise. There's a form entry table, which we are not using that module on our test server, but I find the table is the biggest actually on our test server. It is holding about 3 gigabytes of space. So,
that one is for info platform.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I don't think we're using InfoPath on test server.
No.
Yeah, so I think maybe we don't need it, or we don't need to have all that data on the database if it's holding space for nothing. So maybe again we'll get some feedback from Win tomorrow during Scrum. We see what to do about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe Switha, if you have some feedback on that, you can give us.
Sorry, Simon, I really have no clue about this actually.
Yeah, actually, I'm sure you've not seen the mail, but maybe later on, I think we can better discuss this during Scrum tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my feedback.
Thanks, Simon. So, Martin, do you have anything to add before we wrap this up?
No, I don't. Just want to thank everyone.
Thank you, guys. I think we can end it now. So, have a good one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Eda.